Did you know that the average American home has over 300,000 items? Yes, you heard that right, 300,000. From clothes we never wear to gadgets collecting dust, we're drowning in stuff. And guess what? Studies show that clutter is linked to higher stress levels, decreased productivity, and even anxiety. But here's the good news: you can break free from the chaos. Minimalism isn't about living in an empty room with only a chair and a lamp. It's about making intentional choices, focusing on what truly matters, and letting go of the things that weigh you down. In this video, we'll dive into 6 things I don't buy or own as a minimalist, and how these simple changes can bring you more freedom, peace, and even money. Trust me, when you stop buying things that don't add value, your life starts to feel lighter, both mentally and physically. So, are you ready to start living with less? Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Time Wasters. Why I ditch cluttered calendars. In our fast-paced world, time is the one thing we can't get more of. Yet, we often fill our calendars with unnecessary meetings, events, and commitments. As a minimalist, I've learned the importance of simplifying my schedule. The average American spends 13 hours a week on email and 4.1 hours on meetings. That's over 17 hours lost every week on things that don't truly matter. To combat this, I focus on prioritizing my time. I ask myself, does this truly add value to my life? If not, I say no. One powerful strategy is to embrace the 2-minute rule, from David Allen's book Getting Things Done. If a task takes 2 minutes or less, do it right away. Otherwise, schedule it or delegate it. I've also adopted a theme-based, weekly approach. Instead of cluttering each day with random to-dos, I dedicate entire days to specific tasks. Monday? That's my planning and strategy day. Thursday? A day for deep work and creative pursuits. This has helped me stay focused and less overwhelmed. Here's a fun fact. Studies show that our brains get tired after making too many decisions. This decision fatigue can affect productivity and stress levels. By simplifying my calendar, I reduce this mental load and make space for what really matters. It's all about quality over quantity. Another key idea I follow is the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle. It states that 80% of results come from 20% of efforts. I apply this by focusing on the few tasks that will truly move the needle, leaving the rest behind. Lastly, I protect my evenings. With a minimalist mindset, I reserve time for relaxation, hobbies, and family. No more overcommitting. Life is short, and reclaiming my time has brought me more peace and less stress. Chapter 2. The Guilt-Free Wardrobe. Why I own less clothing. One of the biggest changes I've made as a minimalist is simplifying my wardrobe. The average person owns over 100 items of clothing, but how many do we actually wear? Studies show that we wear only 20% of our clothes regularly. So, I decided to stop buying clothes, just in case, or because they were on sale. Instead, I focus on owning a small, versatile collection. My wardrobe consists of about 30 items, enough to create a variety of outfits, but not so many that I feel overwhelmed by choice. The secret to a minimalist wardrobe is quality over quantity. When I buy something new, I choose items that are durable, timeless, and fit perfectly. I no longer settle for cheap fabrics or trendy items. Instead, I invest in pieces that last and can be worn in multiple ways. Another game changer for me was adopting a capsule wardrobe approach. This concept, popularized by Courtney Carver in her book Be More with Less, revolves around having a small, curated collection of clothes that work for all seasons. It's helped me avoid the stress of picking out outfits every morning. Interestingly, minimalism isn't just about having fewer clothes. It's about having the right clothes that express who you are without excess. I've learned that clothes should serve a purpose, not just fill a closet. By owning less, I've discovered how freeing it feels to have space, both physically and mentally. You might also be surprised to learn that the fashion industry is the second largest polluter in the world, right behind oil. By owning fewer items and buying more mindfully, I contribute less to this problem. Minimalism and sustainability go hand in hand, and it feels good knowing my choices have a positive impact. Finally, decluttering my closet has also saved me time. No more endless hours of folding, organizing, or shopping for new outfits. I can now focus on what truly matters: experiences, relationships, and personal growth. Chapter 3. The Digital Detox. Goodbye unnecessary apps and gadgets. The digital world is a double-edged sword. While it connects us, it can also overwhelm us with notifications, apps, and devices. As a minimalist, I've taken a step back to simplify my digital life. The average American checks their phone over 344 times a day, leading to mental clutter and distractions. The first thing I did was declutter my phone. I deleted apps that weren't serving a clear purpose. According to a report by Deloitte, the average smartphone user has 80 apps installed, but they only use around 10 regularly. Why hold on to apps that don't add value? I also got rid of unnecessary gadgets. From fancy coffee machines to extra tablets, I realized that these items didn't improve my life, they just added to the clutter. If a gadget doesn't serve a practical function or bring me joy, it's out. Simple is better. One of the most important digital strategies I adopted was turning off non-essential notifications. A study by the University of California found that it takes an average of 23 minutes to refocus after a distraction. So, I turned off all those notifications from social media, news apps, and emails. This helps me stay focused and productive. I also practiced setting phone-free times each day. These are windows of time where I focus entirely on offline activities, whether it's reading a book, cooking dinner, or simply being present with family. It's a small habit, but it's made a big difference in my overall happiness. To further streamline my digital life, I've embraced the concept of digital minimalism from Cal Newport's book Digital Minimalism. Newport suggests that we should use technology intentionally, not mindlessly. This means evaluating every app, device, and online platform to determine if it truly contributes to our well-being or productivity. And it's not just about eliminating apps, it's about using the ones we keep more efficiently. For example, instead of scrolling mindlessly through Instagram, I now use it for specific purposes, like connecting with friends or discovering new ideas. I've set clear boundaries to ensure it doesn't take up too much of my time. Finally, I've adopted a one screen at a time rule. Multitasking can lead to lower productivity and more stress. By focusing on one task at a time, I've found I get more done in less time. By simplifying my digital life, I've freed up hours each week to invest in meaningful activities, like exercising, reading, and spending quality time with loved ones. It's amazing how much lighter life feels when we stop letting digital distractions take control. If you're enjoying these tips, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more minimalist strategies that can change your life. Chapter 4. The Consumerist Trap. Avoiding just-in-case purchases. One of the biggest traps I fell into before embracing minimalism was the habit of buying just-in-case items. Whether it was an extra pair of shoes for a rainy day or an emergency toolkit for a potential problem, I was always buying things I might never use. Research shows that nearly 50% of people buy items they don't need simply because they're on sale. This kind of thinking leads to unnecessary clutter and wasted money. To avoid this trap, I now ask myself a simple question before purchasing anything: will I truly use this? If the answer is no, I walk away. This mindset has saved me both money and space. In fact, studies suggest that people who focus on buying only what they truly need are 30% more likely to experience higher satisfaction with their purchases. Another strategy I've adopted is the 30-day rule. If I see something I think I might need, I wait 30 days before buying it. If, after that time, I still feel the item is essential, I purchase it. But often, I forget about it, realizing that the impulse was just a fleeting desire. I also practice living with less. For example, I used to stock up on items like cleaning supplies, toiletries, and canned goods, thinking that I was saving time and money. But I've learned that it's much more efficient to buy only what I need, when I need it. This eliminates unnecessary items piling up in my home and encourages me to live more intentionally. Minimalism has taught me the importance of experiencing life rather than accumulating things. While owning fewer material possessions can feel like a sacrifice to some, it's actually an investment in the experiences that truly bring joy. As the author Joshua Becker writes in The More of Less, the more things we have, the more our things have us. In short, avoiding the just-in-case mindset has helped me lead a simpler, more focused life. By resisting the urge to buy things I don't need, I've freed myself from consumerist pressures and shifted my focus to what really matters. Chapter 5. The Memory Makers, Why I Don't Buy Souvenirs. When I first started practicing minimalism, I realized that souvenirs weren't the mementos I thought they were. I used to buy trinkets and keepsakes during every trip, believing they would help me remember the experience. However, I quickly learned that these items just became clutter. Psychologists say that material possessions don't provide lasting happiness. According to a study by the University of California, we tend to overestimate how much happiness an object will bring us. The true value of a memory is found in the experience itself, not in physical things. Instead of purchasing souvenirs, I now focus on collecting experiences and photos. Photos allow me to relive moments, but they don't take up space. Minimalism teaches us to value the moment, not the material. I no longer feel the need to own a physical object to validate an experience. A great tip I've learned is to keep a travel journal. It's a simple yet powerful way to preserve memories without accumulating clutter. Writing down your thoughts and feelings during a trip can evoke the same emotions years later as any physical item might. Interestingly, some studies suggest that experiences, like travel or trying a new activity, lead to greater happiness and a sense of fulfillment than material purchases. Researchers from the University of Toronto found that people who spend money on experiences, rather than possessions, report higher levels of happiness. I've also embraced the idea that less is more when it comes to memories. A cluttered home filled with souvenirs can distract from the meaningful memories themselves. Now, I focus on how the experience made me feel, rather than what I bought. Minimalism isn't just about reducing physical possessions, it's about creating space for what truly adds value. The experiences I've had and the relationships I've built are worth far more than any souvenir ever could. Chapter 6. The Quick Fix, Why I Don't Buy Instant Gratification Products. In a world driven by instant gratification, it's easy to fall into the trap of buying quick fix products. Whether it's the latest diet supplement, a trendy gadget, or a shortcut to success, these items promise fast results but often deliver little long-term value. In fact, research shows that 73% of consumers make impulse buys, often driven by the promise of instant results. To avoid falling for these quick fixes, I've developed a mindset of patience. Minimalism encourages us to slow down, make intentional choices, and focus on long-term benefits. For example, instead of opting for the latest fad diet, I invest in healthy eating habits that will nourish my body for years. I've also learned to distinguish between wants and needs. When something promises to fix an immediate problem, I take a step back and ask myself if it's a true need or just a temporary desire. Often, the need can be solved without purchasing anything at all. For instance, instead of buying a new gadget for productivity, I focus on improving my time management skills. The quick fix mentality often leads to disappointment. A 2019 study from Harvard Business Review found that people who pursue instant gratification tend to experience more anxiety and less satisfaction. This is because quick fixes rarely deliver lasting results. By contrast, pursuing long-term goals brings deeper fulfillment. One of the best strategies I've learned is to focus on delayed gratification. This involves investing time and effort into things that will pay off in the future, whether it's saving money, building skills, or working on personal growth. Studies suggest that people who practice delayed gratification are more successful and happier in the long run. In a minimalist lifestyle, this shift in thinking is crucial. Instead of constantly seeking products that promise immediate solutions, I invest in long-term practices that align with my values. Whether it's building meaningful relationships, developing my career, or cultivating a new hobby, these pursuits offer greater and more lasting rewards. By saying no to quick fixes and embracing a more thoughtful, patient approach to life, I've found that the journey itself is far more rewarding than any instant solution could ever be. This mindset has helped me create a life that's not only simpler but also more fulfilling. If you found these tips useful, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode in the Minimalism series.